Hey guys, this is Comic Uno and Comic Frontline, and I'm here for another edition of Comic Uno episode, and we're up to episode 82, so let's get started. I have a lot of comics to review this week, 21 books, going worst pick of the week to best pick of the week. Let's get started. What was my worst pick of the week? What was number 21? This has been worst pick of the week for a lot of weeks now. So, Earth 2 World's End, issue 16. Just another kind of bland issue. I do think this is a bit better than the last issue, but still pretty bland. I felt like even the artwork's getting less detailed, like really lazy in some parts. So, here's some examples here. I think it's getting a bit more lazier, the artwork. I thought there was a bit more detail. Still feels kind of, not muddy, but very dark. It's not really my thing. And that's artwork-wise. Story-wise, I think there's some almost emotional beats with Lois and Superman, but I feel like there just wasn't enough time to really go through that pain because there's a war going on. And I guess I understand that there wasn't enough time, but then there's the other boring stuff with Jimmy Olsen and the rest of the team. The only thing I really care about right now is the main core team, where I think Earth 2 was the best when it was centered around Lois and Batman and Power Girl and why can't I think of his name right now? And the other Superman. I think that's when the series was at its best. And now I'm thinking of just dropping Earth 2 at this point. Even though on Earth 2 World's End I'm finishing, but Earth 2, the main series, I don't know if I can take enough. So I might drop that. But overall, I don't know where this is going. And then Huntress, she dies out of nowhere in the last part of this issue. She kind of catapults and she dies. I don't even know what happened, honestly. She gets hit by a plane, I don't know, and she's just like, oh my god, Power Girl, help me, I'm dead. And I actually really do like their friendship, and, for people that read World's End, I feel bad that she kind of just died like that. There's really random, I felt, the death. So overall, just did not like this issue that much, but let's see it through. Earth 2 World's End, issue 16, gets number 21 on the list. Alright, number 20 is another weekly series, Future's End, issue 38. This is, a bit better than Earth 2 World's End, but still pretty boring. I do think there's a couple of good scenes here, a couple of good characters, but just not enough time to explain their stories, as I've been saying. Like Batman Joker story, that was okay, they're sharing bodies, and then there's this other Batman. There's Batman Beyond, then there's another Batman. I have no idea who that Batman is. Dick Grayson? No. I don't even know if that would make sense in this universe. I mean, seriously, there's so many universes going on. I have no idea who that other Batman is. And I'm guessing maybe one's from the future. I don't know. I really don't. I have no idea who that other Batman is. But yeah, there's Batman Beyond Tim, and then there's another Batman. And then there's a Batman connected to Joker. Might be missing something. And then the Firestorm story is pretty cool. Firestorm actually might team up with the villain just to get her powers taken away from her, so we'll see if she's making the right plan, or maybe she's trying to trick somebody. 50 Sue has grown on me also in this issue. She's kind of grown on me ever since Lana had this connection with her to kind of ground her. Frankenstein stuff, I don't care if he saw his father in this issue. That was the cliffhanger, is that he saw his father. I really don't care. These characters got their series canceled for a reason. Why are you making them the main character of Future's End? And why not make it more interesting? Why don't you combine it with other characters? That's what I don't get with Future's End. There's all these other stories going on, but I have no idea how they collide with each other. How the hell do they all connect with each other? Alright, that's my mini rant, but Future's End issue 38 is number 20, and I gave it 2.5 stars. Alright, number 19 is Scarlet Spiders, issue 3. This is, okay issue. I think they're trying to have some emotional moments here, but it just didn't grasp me that much here. Most of it is them, teaming up once again to try to defeat one of the inheritors, which they kind of do, and Ben Reilly sacrifices himself, and Kane does what he wants. It's kind of Scarlet Spider all over again, where he just does what he wants, and he's like, no, I'm a good guy, no, I'm a bad guy, I'm running. Let me just kill myself, and just hurt every other Spider person by going to Loom World, for no reason. So that happens. And then, yeah, the Ben Reilly sacrifice is, it was pretty good. I like the Ben Reilly sacrifice, but I felt like there was just some heart missing for some reason. There's something missing there. And also, I just don't really like the art that much. I feel like you see the muscles a bit too much. There's, too much detail, and it just does not work for me. So overall, I gave Scarlet Spiders issue 3 2.5 stars. I didn't think it was needed that much this issue. Obviously, it's needed for the story, but I didn't like it that much. So, that was number 19. Number 18 is Guardians of the Galaxy, issue 23, which I was really surprised by because I really do like the artwork for this series. The artwork is beautiful, but the story just was so much lacking, and what lacked the most is that this was the last part of this Venom story, and I feel like nothing really got accomplished. They're building up to, like, we're going to the Venom world, we're doing something with Venom, and then they give him an upgrade, and that's it. It's like, oh, well, you know, everyone's kind of mean to us, and your Venom was kind of corrupted, and there's just, like, this whole blabbing, like, 2 or 3 pages of blabber, and then he's like, alright, well, we're just gonna power up Flash Thompson, because he's a cool guy. It's Venom 2.0, and then they run into Black Vortex, and that Star-Lord's gonna be president, but somehow Legendary Star-Lord, there's a completely different story going on. So that makes sense. Kitty's gonna be in space, but Kitty's not in Guardians of the Galaxy, but she's in Legendary Star-Lord. So that confuses me a bit, especially since Black Vortex is gonna connect to all these series. I don't know. But overall, I was just really disappointed because this was the last part, and there was just so much build-up, and I don't know if Brian Michael Bendis knows what he's doing with the series at this point. I'm going to see where Guardians goes with Black Vortex, but if I don't like it, I'm probably going to drop it again. I've dropped Guardians plenty of times now, because it's the same problem since, I would say, issue 1. There's just no direction for this series, and they only have it because of the movie. Yeah, so overall, this was a weird story arc. Venom 2.0. Guardians of the Galaxy, issue 23, was number 18 on the list, I think. So I think we're up to number 17. Yes, number 17 is Powers, issue 1, another Bendis book, which is sad to see, because I really do like him as a writer. And this was more because I was a new reader, and I don't think Powers was very new reader friendly. With this issue, we get to see Detective Pilgrim, I think her name is. She's dealing with being part of this Powers organization without her partner, because the partner retired, whatever he did, and now she's dealing with a case. That's what the issue's about. And, you know, I liked it. It was good. I really do like the artwork, but I feel like I didn't really connect with these characters or really learn anything about the series. And this is issue 1. The TV show's coming out in March. This really should have been more new reader friendly, kind of like Ant-Man in a way, what Nick Spencer did with Ant-Man. Even though as an old-time reader of Cassie Lang in that series, I wanted a little bit more. I understood because new readers are going to be reading it because of the movie, especially in trade. Now, Powers should have been the same way. It's like, of course there's people reading this series that are been Powers fans forever, but I feel like you could have balanced it a bit more for the new readers who might have picked this up because of the TV show and thinking this would be new reader friendly. So that's why I gave Powers issue 1 3 stars. Alright, now we're up to number 16, which is another surprising one that went kind of low for me, and that was Fantastic Four issue 642. I feel like this was more of a build-up issue than anything. You don't really get that much accomplished. But it's explaining everything we already know. You know, the team being in this rut in a way, and they have to go to Franklin, and they're all coming together to try to defeat Franklin's Pocket Imagination Heroes Reborn characters. And then Mr. Fantastic's still dealing with the main villain. But I wouldn't say a lot progressed here. You know, it's still a good issue. I felt it was a bit crowded here because there was a lot of villains. A lot of heroes, I'm sorry, but artwork's really good, but overall, I just kind of wanted more with this issue, especially since we're almost to the end. So Fantastic Four issue 642 gets 3 stars for me. Alright, I think we're up to number 15? You're up to number 15, and that is Supergirl, issue 38. This issue didn't totally impress me. I like Supergirl as a character right now, which is really hard to say because I thought she was very mad for a while. I didn't think she was in character, and I think Supergirl is pretty much in character just with, you know, a short haircut here. And I do like the Superboy story. I like that he's back. I felt like he was in character also for the most part. They're like still fitting in the New 52 origins, but for the most part, I think he is in character. But my main problem with this series, I would say, is the Crucible aspect of it. Like, I thought that was going to be interesting, but I really don't care about these other characters at all. And they're trying to make me care about them, but I still don't really care, and their scenes are pretty boring. So that's why it's kind of lower. I'll see if I'm going to keep this series. I hope I can, because I do think Supergirl's been... you know, improved with this new creative team, but the actual story, the actual plot kind of bores me, and that's sad to see. But the artwork's actually really good for the series also. So we'll see. I'm going to give it a couple more issues to see where this goes. So Supergirl, issue 38, I gave 3 stars. Alright, so now we're up to number 14. Let's see. Only if this thing worked. Okay. Yes, number 14. Number 14 is Elektra, issue 10. I'm a bit upset that this is a bit lower also. This is usually higher because I think this is a very under-the-radar series, which I still think is a very under-the-radar series. But this issue is pretty good. I think there could have been a bit more emotional beats here, like Elektra usually has with her narration, but it's getting very interesting. Elektra going into Bullseye's mind and trying to take his memory away, but at the same time, it's like, no, I need you, I guess. And now Bullseye is fully repaired by the Hand, and Elektra's gonna have to fully defeat Bullseye again. And we learn that the head of the Assassin's Guild is actually a little child. So will Elektra have the willpower to kill a child? And she's got to kill this child and Bullseye. And that's pretty much the end of the issue. What did I think about this issue overall? Pretty good. I liked it. I think there could have been a bit more emotional stuff when they're in Bullseye's mind, but the artwork I think fits really well for the series. I would say there's some close-ups are a bit weird, like with Bullseye over here, but Elektra's face looked fine. But yeah, overall, I think the artwork's beautiful, and I'm looking forward to seeing how the series ends. But this was a bit weaker of an issue than we've been getting with Elektra. So Elektra issue 10 does get number 14. Alright, number 13 is Wonder Woman, issue 38. This issue, I think, is definitely an improvement from what we've been getting with Wonder Woman, and I am intrigued to see where this goes. So with this issue, we get to see Wonder Woman still dealing with what it means to be a god of war and try to balance her life with Themyscira and the Justice League, and it's not really working because now Themyscira is kind of looking for a new queen, or they're poking at trying to find a new queen, and that might be Donna Troy. She still hasn't spoken at all, but we don't know if she's a villain or a hero yet, but they're pushing her to be that queen, and I think that makes total sense, and I'm really intrigued to see where that story goes. Even though I felt like this issue was a bit repetitive, and still not a big fan of the artwork, it's just not really my style. I do think it's a bit dark. I did like this issue, and I'm looking forward to seeing where the next half, or the next couple issues go with Donna Troy, and we'll see if this will stay on my pull list. So Wonder Woman, issue 38, gets 3.5 stars. Alright, now we're up to number 12? Yes, we are up to number 12, which is Legendary Star-Lord, issue 8. This is a weird issue, because I really do like Kitty. I don't know what to feel about her being with Peter Quill, but I like that they learn a little bit more about each other. They have a fight in the beginning, but by the end, they make up. But it's also really weird. Like, honestly, that last page, there's this last page, you know, they make up, they're, you know, whatever. And then she's like, I want to be a thief, just like you. Let's steal from your father. I'm like, what? Like, that Kitty would never say that. I felt like that was the corniest thing ever. And I was like, alright, I get that you accept that he's a thief, but you want to be a thief also? Okay, that makes sense. And then her being in space, I don't know what's going to happen with all new X-Men and Guardians of the Galaxy. I guess in Black Vortex we'll find out, but I don't want Kitty in space. Honestly, yeah, you know, I think they have chemistry, Star-Lord and Kitty, but I don't want her to be in space. I think she should belong with the X-Men. I think they're pushing her so much to Guardians of the Galaxy, which again, which I talked about. I don't think they know what direction they're even going in. So, and also the artwork could have been a little better here. Here's some examples. So, you know, it's okay artwork. It could have been a little better in my opinion. But yeah, overall, Legendary Star-Lord gets 3.5 stars. I was kind of like uncertain about it, even though there's a lot of great moments between Kitty and Peter, and I think they do have her in character until that last page. But yeah, overall, it's a 3.5 book, but we'll see where it goes. So Legendary Star-Lord, issue 8, 3.5. Alright, so now we're up to number 10, which is, I think we're up to number 10. Make sure. No, we're up to number 11, which is Teen Titans issue 6. This was not as good as the last issue. Last issue is actually pick of the week. I really enjoyed last issue. This has a little bit less of the Teen Titans, more Power Girl, which is good, because I actually did like her origins here. It was pretty good. And I guess if you read World's Finest, you'll understand her character even more. Artwork's pretty good here, too. I think it fits the series pretty well. I would say the more boring parts of this issue is definitely the Star Labs stuff. Even though I thought it was interesting that they're going to join the Teen Titans, I was not really interested in those last pages with Star Labs. Hopefully it gets more interesting. But you don't really get to see the Teen Titans interact that much here. But overall, it was an okay issue. I think it introduced Power Girl pretty well. And we'll see what happens with Star Labs. So Teen Titans issue 6 for me gets 3.5 stars. And now it's number 11. Alright, let's talk about number 10, which is Charmed Season 10, Issue 4. And originally I wasn't even going to get this issue because I haven't been loving Charmed. I don't know. Something was gravitating for me. But I thought this issue was really well done. There's some really great moments, I think, between all the sisters, their husbands. I think there are some funny moments. But overall, the ending really made the issue for me. And spoiler alert, the ending is that someone dies. And it is Cole. And, you know, I thought that was a really powerful scene for this issue because it shows how much Cole has grown as a character. So, yeah, I thought that was a really great moment, especially since Cole's like, I just want you to be happy. Obviously, Cole still loves Phoebe. I didn't call her Phoebe? It's not her name. Why can't I think? Yeah, Phoebe. No. Why does that sound wrong? I don't know. Sorry. Anyways, of course yeah, why does Phoebe sound wrong? Anyways, sorry. Alyssa Milano's character. I'm having, like, a brain thing right now. But yeah, obviously Cole does like her, you know, but he's like, oh no, I want you to be happy. I want you to be happy with Cupid and with Coop. So I really like that moment. It just shows how much that character has grown. And I would say that the artwork was a bit, I would say the artwork was a bit, I don't know, I would say less detailed than I wanted it to be, but overall, I thought it was a pretty powerful issue, and it definitely tempted me to get more issues and see where this goes, and especially just seeing how they deal with Cole's death. So yeah, that's number 10? Yeah, number 10, that gets 3.5 stars. Alright, so we're moving on to number 9, which is All New X-Men, issue 35. So, All New X-Men, I liked it, you know, I expected a bit more with this Ultimate Universe story arc, but, you know, there's some fun moments here. Iceman interacting with Iceman, which I feel like I've seen many times now. Awkward moments between Ultimate Universe versions and regular versions. Kind of like here with Miles, Angel, and Kitty, where Angel's like, I'm dead here? It's like, yeah, we cried, you know, we were sad. And he's like, and Miles just like, shut up. And it's like, what? You know, we did cry. So I thought that was a funny moment there. So overall, I thought this was a solid issue. You know, I think it could have been a bit better. You know, I wanted to see the story arc be a bit more emotional, more interactions. But overall, I liked this issue. I thought it was a good build up to whatever they're going to do with Dr. Doom and hopefully get out of this universe, and we'll see what happens there, if this will change anything for both series. But All New X-Men issue 35 for me gets 4 stars. Alright, number 8 I think we're up to. Yeah, we're up to number 8. Which is Justice League issue 38. Justice League, I thought this was a very solid issue also. I liked it. We have great artwork with this issue. Here's some examples here. With Justice League in general, there's just a lot of great artwork. And Batman has powers, and he has bat powers. I thought it was interesting. You're never going to see that anywhere else besides with Jeff Johns, because you trust Jeff Johns won't keep Batman with powers. But Robin has powers now, so who knows. But this issue was fun. It was very much a point A to point B issue, but you have some interesting interaction between Superman and Lex, Batman having powers, and a cool cliffhanger of the Justice League being these zombies from the Mesovirus, and wanting to fight Superman, Lex, and Wonder Woman. So we'll see how this ends and what this means for the Justice League. But so far, this has just been a very fun story arc, and I thought Justice League issue 38 was a very solid issue. So that's 4 stars for me. Alright, I think we're up to number 7, right? Yes, number 7, which is Batman Superman, issue 18. Yeah, I actually got Batman Superman this week. I just caught up with the last 2 issues that are part of the story arc, and I'm pretty impressed. You know, this is a big improvement from what we've been getting with Batman Superman previously before the story arc. Artwork's pretty good. I'm not a fan of the lines, the extra lines on the face, but other than that, it's really great artwork, and really interesting story with Superman having his own version of the Joker. And them trying to figure out a bit more of this mystery of who this person is, and it seems like it's connected to Krypton, and maybe Supergirl's best friend from Krypton. She might be connected to this. I don't know if she is the villain or not, but by this cliffhanger, she's definitely connected. But my favorite part of the issue probably was this Lois Batman-Superman dynamic, because Lois is bait for this Joker, and this version of, Superman Joker. And then the Superman Joker is smart enough to know that she was bait. And the real person that Superman trusts and, loves as a brother is Batman. And I thought that was such a great moment for a series called Batman and Superman. And it makes a lot of sense because Superman does trust Batman and Batman does trust Superman. They know a lot about each other and they really are best friends. So I thought that was a really great moment. And it reminds me before the New 52, where you really got to see their friendships shine, and then in New 52, they kind of fought each other a lot, and their friendship didn't shine, and it was not about kind of this family aspect and this friend aspect. It was about them kind of butting heads, but now we finally have this family aspect again, and even though Lois and Lois and Superman are not together, it was interesting to see them interact a lot, so I thought Lois was very much in character too, so very interesting arc, and I'm looking forward to see where Batman and Superman goes. So this gets 4 stars for me, and that was number 7 on the list. Alright, so number 6, what did not make the top 5 by a hair, is Spider-Woman issue 3. I thought this issue was really funny. I would say the reason it didn't make top 5 is because I think it came out in the wrong week. I think this issue should have definitely came out last 2 weeks ago, whenever the last Amazing Spider-Man issue came out, because it was very connected to that issue and not this issue. So I thought that was a bit confusing that it came out with issue 13 instead. It should have came out with issue 12. So that did kind of bring me back for it to go in the top 5. And also artwork wasn't, still weird smiles. But even though, again, the artwork's not bad. It's just the facial expressions of the artwork. But overall, I really thought this was a fun issue. Seeing Silk, Spider-Gwen, and Spider-Woman team up with each other. Spider-Woman thinks, she is a good spy, but not really being a good spy in Loom World. Hilarious moments between her having to go to the bathroom and make up these excuses, and making up horrible excuses of why she's not like her counterpart. It was just a really fun issue, and Spider-Woman issue 3, hopefully the series continues to be a lot of fun, because I think this is just a total improvement from that first issue, and it shows that maybe the first issue doesn't show where the series is actually going, and again, just a big improvement. So Spider-Woman issue 3 for me gets 4 stars, and it was very close to top 5. I did have to give those little nitpicks. So let's move on to number 5. And that's Superior Iron Man issue 4. I like Superior Iron Man. I thought this was a very solid issue. Artwork is beautiful for this series. Again, this is why I kind of made it to top 5 instead of Spider-Woman. I thought the artwork was perfect here, and it's just Superior Iron Man being Superior Iron Man. Being able to get Matt out of his way, and still being the good guy and being superior, by making Matt not remember that what Tony's doing with this Extremis project, and Matt digs a bit deeper into what Extremis actually is. So overall, it was a very solid issue. I really enjoyed this one. Yeah, definitely Superior Iron Man. I'm looking forward to seeing a bit more of this character, which I'm surprised, because usually these type of characters I'm like, I want to see the old version. But I think it works a lot for Tony, so, and what Tom Taylor's been doing with the series. So, Superior Iron Man for me gets 4 stars, and that was number 5. Alright, let's move on. Number 4 is going to shock you guys. Number 4 for me is Batman Eternal, issue 42. I really enjoyed this issue. I thought this was a really big improvement from what we've been getting with Batman Eternal. And learning a little bit more about Harper Row as a character, her attitudes, especially towards Tim. She saves the day, and Batman's curious, like, oh, maybe she will be a good hero. And then the other side of the story being with Stephanie, trying to make a good relationship with her mother and trying to understand this whole situation, but the mother being kidnapped and Catwoman kidnapping Stephanie. So that now we are building up to what that Batman issue was so many months ago, I guess towards the 3/4 mark of where Batman Eternal was going. So overall, I thought the artwork worked so well for this issue, which is great, because I think one of the downfalls for Batman Eternal has been the artwork, less than the story. Comparing to Future's End and World's End, which is like artwork's okay, but the story's not there. Batman Eternal is definitely the better of the weekly series, and again, I really enjoyed Harper Row here. I thought she really shined because she is a character I never really cared about, but she stuck up for herself, especially with Tim, where Tim's like, oh, well, I didn't want you to be a hero, I didn't want you to be this. Like, hey, if you say you would, I understand what it means to be a hero. Stop putting me down by saying that I made the wrong decision. I know what decision I made, and you should support it. And it's like, you wouldn't have been alive if I didn't do it. But she says it in obviously a nicer way. But I liked her moments here as a hero. I'm looking forward to seeing where she goes. And of course, Stephanie's scenes, it's great to see more of Stephanie, and I think they really do have her character on par, which is great to see, because that doesn't always happen with the New 52. So Batman Eternal issue 42 gets number 4, surprisingly. Alright, so number 3 is Amazing Spider-Man issue 13. This issue really impressed me. I thought this was a big improvement from what we've been getting with Amazing Spider-Man. It felt a bit less crowded. It felt like people had voices a bit more, especially Spider-Gwen. Honestly, there's a long list of people that felt like they had more voices here. And, things are not going well for the Spider people, because now the Bride, the CN, and the other, which is Kane, Silk, and Benji, are now in Loom World. So the Inheritors are that much closer to finishing this ritual to destroying the Spider people, and who will die in this last issue. So overall, I thought it was really great chemistry between characters. A little less, but I do think Lishy's saying something different. I think with Spider-Verse Team Up, we have a bit more explanation with her character, but overall, I really liked it, especially, even though not all these Spider people have ideas, the same ideas, and also, even though everyone's alternate reality Spider people, it doesn't mean that they don't have importance, and I like that's really highlighted here, and they're going into battle, and I love the last lines where Superior Spider-Man's trying to take charge, and he's like, the die is cast, and Peter's like, nah, I'm gonna say, we're going. We're going to say, Spider Friends, go for it. So I thought that was a good moment. And also, artwork's really great for the series also. So I thought this was just a big improvement. And The Amazing Spider-Man issue 13 gets 4.5 stars for me. And that's number 3. Alright, number 2 is going to surprise everybody, because I think you probably thought this was number 1. But that is Spider-Verse Team Up issue 3. This issue, I had a long discussion, if you want to check out my in-depth review about this issue, because it's special to my heart, Spider-Girl is my favorite character, and Tom DeFalco and Ron Frenz returned to the character to give, fans something they want with the character. So let's talk about the first half of the issue. First half wasn't that bad. I thought the chemistry was kind of there. The art could have been a bit better, but it's interesting that they're trying to get an Inheritor on their side. I didn't really see that friendship coming, but maybe it was, in Superior Spider-Man issue, Edge of Spider-Verse stuff, and I just kind of forgot about it. But it's cool to see one of the Inheritors maybe helping out the Spider people. I thought that was good progression, but art could have been a bit better. Now, the second story, again, I won't go into too much detail. Check out my in-depth review if you want more. But I really loved it. Was it what I expected? No, because I kind of expected Tom DeFalco to, change her anger and be friends with Uncle Ben. But, she's still angry. She's still mourning. And it's interesting because, I forgot to say this in my in-depth review, but I think Spider-Girl's always been an important character and a different type of character because she never really had that mourning. She always had the people around her, and she learned, though, with great power must also come great responsibility on her own. Not because someone died, it was just because she learned it. That was something that she learned from her father's feet. But she didn't need someone to die to really understand that. And now that someone has died, she has gone through that trauma. And she's never been a traumatic character. She's never really had that much trauma happen to her. So it's interesting to see how she deals with that. So yeah, I could talk about it forever, but I do have a theory on this issue. Again, go check out my in-depth review if you want a little bit more, but I really like what Tom DeFalco did here, and I can analyze it forever. It's only 10 pages, but it was a really well done issue. But the reason it didn't get Pick of the Week was probably for that first half of the issue, and some of the things probably don't make sense, because it seems that it's wink wink that this is not actually Mayday. But I don't know if that really actually makes sense for what's going on with Spider-Verse. So that's also another reason it didn't get Pick of the Week, but it's gonna be an issue I always remember. So Spider-Verse Team Up issue 3 gets 4.5 stars for me. Alright, moving on to Pick of the Week. Invincible, issue 116. This issue I just felt like had a bit better of a flow, and the whole issue was really good. Again, the first story for Spider-Verse Team Up could have been a little bit better with the artwork. So yeah, that's kind of the reason I didn't give it Pick of the Week. But Invincible, I just thought, had a lot of great emotional beats here, and I think between Eve and between Mark the most. One of my favorite scenes of the issue was probably Eve talking about her leg. Mark saying, "Oh, how's your leg?" And then he's like, "Oh, was that like too soon or whatever?" It's like, "No, I feel it. It's weird, but it's cold." And I really like that dialogue between them. Also, Eve interacting with her parents were pretty funny, and I want to see where that relationship goes. And them having to make decisions for themselves now, and seeing how they have grown up from that first issue. Is still being friends with their high school friends. We're also seeing how much their lives have changed. So now that they have a kid, they have to make decisions, and that might not be on Earth, especially with what Robot's doing. They don't agree with Robot, but they really can't stop Robot at the same time. And there's good moments between Invincible's father and mother, too, seeing how much they have changed. So overall, artwork was beautiful for the series, and I just thought there's a lot of great emotional beats here. So Invincible issue 116 gets my Pick of the Week. Hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter for Comic Uno. Don't forget to like my Facebook page. Also, description below, there's links for my comic book, Like Father, Like Daughter. And don't forget to like the Facebook page, Like Father, Like Daughter. And let me know in the comments below, what was your Pick of the Week, what was your worst Pick of the Week, and everything in between. And this is Comic Uno, and I'll have Comic Uno episode 83 next week. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.